Hey guys, Kristen from Millennial Moms, and today we're going to be talking about how to write a birth plan. I feel like birth plans are an extremely important part of the labor and birthing process for two reasons. First, they help you mentally prepare for going into labor, and second, they let everyone who's there know what your expectations are. I have my birth plan from when I had my daughter Chell, and I probably rewrote this thing about 5 times. There's so many different templates you can download online. I went through all of those, but eventually I just wrote everything down. So today I'm going to tell you what I wrote, why I wrote it, and why this is an extremely important document to have. The first thing you want to write in your birthing plan is your name, your birthday, and your due date. All of this should be in your hospital records, but just in case anything crazy happens, you want to have all that information on your birth plan so they know that this birth plan belongs to you. The next thing I wrote was who I wanted to be in the room with me, so my support team. I wanted the hospital staff to know that my husband and my 2 parents were supposed to be in the room with me. It's also a really good idea if you're one of the moms who doesn't want visitors just coming in the room. Maybe you have dear Aunt Sally that you really don't want to talk to in the moment. You can write stuff like that on your birth plan, and your Aunt Sally's not going to see your birth plan, but the nurses in the room helping you, they're going to see that note and make sure she doesn't come in. Another important thing to think about when you're making a birth plan is just write down your absolutes. So just put the things that you absolutely must have and the things that you absolutely don't want to have. If there are any things that you're kind of wishy-washy about or they might be nice to have, put those in a separate section because the nurses are really going to have time to look at maybe 1 or 2 pages in your birth plan. They're not going to be able to read a 10-page document. The way I formatted my birth plan was by separating it into sections. So I have labor wishes, birth wishes, and then the postpartum wishes. This is nice because sometimes the nurses change out or the doctors change out. So if you have one doctor for when you're laboring in the hospital, they know exactly what section to go to. And then when the doctor comes in to actually deliver the baby, they have their section. So for the labor and birth section, you want to be really clear on 2 things. First is your pain management techniques. If you want an epidural or if you don't want an epidural, make sure you specify that. The other thing you want to be really specific about is any labor assistance methods you want or don't want to use. So if they have to induce labor and there's specific ways you don't want them to do that, write it down. As far as the postpartum part of childbirth, you want to be sure you write down things both for you and for baby. Things like delayed cord clamping, any vaccines you don't want your child to have, write those down in your birth plan. Any like exclusively breastfeeding or is formula feeding, bottle feeding okay, make sure you write all that down because this is the place the nurses are going to go. You may be a little out of it, you may be feeling a little funky, so if you have it written down, they don't have to worry. One thing I warn you about with your birth plans is that it's likely your nurses are going to read through the entire thing. I formatted my birth plan so the first page was for the nurses and doctors, and I have this like clear cover on it so they could easily see it. And then the second page and all the pages afterwards were really for my support team. But the nurse we had, she read through the entire thing. I was in labor for a very long time, so she had the time. It was fine. I didn't have anything private or anything to hide in there, but just know, whatever you write down, they will read. The second page of my birth plan, I split it up into a couple different sections, and I was really happy with the way this went. I had 3 support members, my husband and my parents, so they each had their own section of tasks I wanted them to handle. My dad, for example, I wanted him to go find a newspaper that was my daughter's birthday, so that was in his section. My mom was in charge of all the food and snacks, and my husband, Corey, was basically in charge of everything. I also included a section that I found very valuable for different things to try. So if I was laboring and I was getting fussy or bored or whatever, my husband could suggest these different things. And then I also had a couple sheets that were different laboring techniques. And that was really nice. If my husband needed to, he could refer to this sheet, which I included in the back of the birth plan, and suggest I lay a certain way or we try a different thing. The other pages I have in my birth plan are a lot of different handouts that we got in childbirthing class that I thought might be useful. Really, you can have as much in here as you want, might as well include it if you think it's gonna be handy. I also in the very back had the doctor's contact info and then a list of contact numbers that I wanted my mom to call after the baby was born, just so all of those records were in the same place. Probably the most important thing to remember about your birth plan is that nothing's gonna go as planned. Expect that. Everyone tells you that before you have a baby, but you always assume that, no, mine will be different. Nothing's gonna go like you think it's gonna go. So write down the stuff in your birth plan, but don't stick to it. Be flexible, enjoy the process. It's an amazing process. I hope you guys learned some stuff from this video. I hope you write a birth plan. I hope you enjoy writing your birth plan. If you want to see yesterday's video, click this box right up here. If you want to see more of my videos, click right down here. And don't forget to subscribe to Millennial Moms. There's a button right here for that. I'll see you guys next week.